What's up YouTube, Dino here from Zephyr Wargames, bringing you a test hand video for the Shaddoll Dino deck profile that I did for you guys the other day. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our standard test hands of 3 going first, 3 going second, and we'll show you what the deck can do. Now obviously the deck is designed to go second, but it can be quite versatile by going first as well. What we're going to do is we're going to do our opening hand of 5 after a nice fair cut. And this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, the biggest plus side is that we've opened up with 2 fossil digs. So if our opponent does ash one of them, we can still play on. So you'd activate your fossil dig. If your opponent ashes it, not at the end of the world, you can activate another fossil dig. If it doesn't, you know, your fossil dig's going through. So let's say they don't ash us. We're going to play this quite nicely. And we're going to search out our salt-eating Oviraptor. We're then going to fossil dig for our other one, and that will be Giant Rex. We're then going to activate our Foolish Burial, and our Foolish Burial will send us a... Where are you? I would like to send, if I was going second, I would like to send the Shaddoll Hedgehog, and then we get to search out a monster. But I suppose if we send Beast, we're going to get a nice little draw. And then Beast obviously makes Pill live, and we'll get Pill in a second when we do the Oviraptor play. So we're going to do a nice cut there. I'm going to get to draw off of Beast. Okay. We're going to normal summon our Oviraptor. We're going to use Oviraptor's effect. And we're going to send Overtext to the graveyard. Overtext's effect is going to go off and give us a double evolution pill. We're then going to activate double evolution pill, and that is going to banish a Beast from the graveyard and Giant Rex from our hand, and that is going to let us special summon. We could special summon out Overtext if we wanted to, but we're going to go all ham, and we're going to special summon out our Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Giant Rex then goes off to bring itself back, and we can overlay them up there. Now it's entirely up to you what you'd like to overlay into. You've got your Lagia, which is going to be very, very protective, and then of course you've got your Dolka. Your other option is you could go into an Underclock Taker, and by going into an Overclock Taker you can then bring out this second Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, but having 2 on board isn't very useful because you don't have 2 monsters in hand. So I would probably go for your most protection that you can possibly do. And that will probably be Lagia, because Lagia can deal with both spells and traps, and of course it's basically like your Solemn Warning, which is very, very nice. So when a monster would be normal summoned or special summoned or a spell trap is activated, you detach 2 and negate it. So it can be very, very helpful. And then the best thing about that is next turn we've got a Soul Eating Oviraptor Searcher, we've got a Giant Rex that can be banished off, we've got Conductor, and we bring him back. So you've got a lot of plays to make with this board. Depending on how far you would like to extend, you could go further if you wanted to. But as a first turn play, that's very, very nice. Just imagine going second where you get the extra card. You would then have gone into 2 Ultimate Conductor Tyrannos. You could have gone into a Lagia or an Underclock Taker to make your Conductors even more powerful. Not that it would matter too much, depending on what they had to be over. And then, of course, you would have the extra card that could have been anything you really needed. And a nice even cut. Our next opening hand of 5 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very, very interesting. A little bit sacky. So, we're going to normal summon our Oviraptor. Oviraptor's effect can now go off. And that will send 1 Overtext. Where are you? Send Overtext to the graveyard. Overtext's effect will go off to give us the pill. Now we can use Miscellaneous Saurus's effect, get that to the graveyard, just so we've got a bit of protection there straight away. Now of course we can bring out a level 2 baby if we wanted to, by banishing 2 and doing just that. Then we can activate our pill and banish both the Beast and the Overtexus. Actually, we might have been better just going into a 1. The only thing that the best thing that the baby kind of gives us now that we've activated the pill is, because everything's now banished, if we went, the other one would have been Dracaelio, you would have been going into your High Speed Void Chambara, which wouldn't have been that useful. But we then get Ultimate Conductor to the board. Now, what this allows us to do is during our opponent's turn, we would then pop the baby, and then baby would then give us a plus. And obviously that could then give you another Overraptor, and then your Overraptor would then give you another search. So that's probably your better way of doing it. You could, of course, leave Miscellaneous in your graveyard, or leave Miscellaneous in your hand for a bit more protection should you want it. It does open up the door to a couple of options, and then of course you do have the Schemata in hand that you can get rid of through your Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. So it's entirely up to you on how you'd like to play that board, but it does give you a couple of options. Apologies, the sunlight has now just decided to want to come out. We don't usually get sunlight here in the UK, so this is a very early first. Anyway, we're now going to continue, and we're going to do our second test hand, our third test hand going first. So our last test hand going first, and then we can start being more aggressive. We can start going into that Chambara and winning the game. So we're going to cut the deck there. We're going to open up our first hand of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, an incredibly powerful opening hand already. So we're going to activate our Fossil Dig. Let's say because we've got this, our opponent is going to activate Ash or whatnot. We activate Call by the Grave, negating Ash for the turn. Fossil Dig then, of course, searches you out your main target, and that will be Overraptor. You then normal summon your Overraptor, and that can then... There's no point in sending the Overtext unless you really, really want to, but I'd probably get the Rex, because now we've got more place to go further forward. I'd activate the Foolish Burial, and I'd probably send Beast, because then Beast will give me that additional draw. Now, of course, if you send Dragon, you're going to be popping back row, which is no use to us going first. You send Hedgehog, you're going to be searching out, and if you send Schemata, you're going to be sending a second monster. So you could send Schemata, and then Schemata then sends Beast. That's entirely up to you to give you a bit more deck thin abilities. So after a nice fair shuffle and a nice even cut, we're then going to draw one off of Beast. Wow, okay, cool. We're then going to activate our Pill. Our Pill is going to banish Rex from our hand and Beast from the graveyard, and we're going to go into, of course, Ultimate Conductor. You can, of course, like I said, go into, I believe you can, go into the Overtext, because Overtext is, it ignores its summoning conditions with Pill, so it does give you an option there. Now obviously Giant Rex's effect brings itself back, and then you can overlay these guys straight into a rank 4. Again, like I said, depending on what you want into the graveyard. If we're going second, I'd get an Ultimate Conductor Tyranno on board. But then we've also got the plays, if we were going second, to pop the baby. So going a bit more defensive, go straight into your Lagia. You've got the protection there. Should your opponent wipe your board, clear your board, anything like that, you've got more than enough fodder in your graveyard to go into your second Conductor. Your Conductor can then use his effect to pop the baby, and then your board just keeps going off from there, because you bring back a Giant Rex, the baby searches you out, special summons you out an Overraptor. Your Overraptor can then send for another double evolution pill. You can then activate another double evolution pill, and then move your board even further forward, and that is probably an OTK. I'll be amazed if it isn't. Okay, so now let's move on to our test hands going second, and show you what that extra card can do for the deck and how aggressive it can be. So we're going to cut there. Nice even fair cut, and our opening hand of 6 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we're going to act as if we've already effect faded our opponent. 9 times out of 10, that's what we do with our hand traps. We're then going to Fossil Dig. Now, we're going to play it as if our opponent doesn't have any hand traps, but of course, they do have the ability to stop Fossil Dig. Now, with that, I would search us out a Giant Rex. It's very rare that you would want to search out a Giant Rex. If you wanted to be more protective, you could, of course, search out your Miscellaneous Saurus. That does give you another option. So you would search your Miscellaneous Saurus, and then you could then pitch it. That, in turn, gives you the protection from Soul Eating Overraptor. So there's a fine line between protection and extending your board. Because obviously with this, what we would do is we would then normal summon our Overraptor. Overraptor's effect would then go off, and we would send Overtext. Overtext would then search us out a double evolution pill. Now obviously with the Giant Rex in hand, we would banish it, and then bring back a level 4. This is a bit more protection should our opponent have like a Ghost Ogre or an Ash or anything like that. So what we would then do is we could banish our Miscellaneous Saurus, special summon out our Dracaelio from our deck. I bet it's right at the top. Yeah, of course it is. Our Dracolier from our deck. We're not going to be fusing into anything right now, so you would sync these guys up into Shambara. You then activate your double Evo pill, banishing a Beast and Overtex, getting into an Ultimate Conductor Tyranno right there. Oh, that's now there. Actually, let's keep Beast. I've got a better play for Beast. So we'd banish those. You would then special summon your second Ultimate Conductor Tyranno by banishing your Alio and that. You then activate your first Ultimate Conductor Tyranno's effect, destroying Beast, and then Beast will give you the additional draw. Now, obviously, if you just did that till... Well, either way, to be fair, if you did it with Skomata, you would then send your second Beast, so you'd deck thin a lot more. And then we'd get the draw off, Overactor, which we've already normal summoned, so we can't go too much further. But we've Book-a-Mooned everything. Attack, 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 attack. That's game. Simple as that. So you can see how aggressive the deck can be. Yeah, okay, Ashes would have slowed us down, Ogres would have slowed us down, but we would have been able to protect ourselves. So I suppose in that case, if they... Well, if they ashed the... If they ashed the... Fossil Dig, that probably would have caused us a lot of issues. Anyway, use 1, 2, 3 and 4 with the Underclock. That lets you then extend your plays a little bit further. You can go into a Trishula, use 1, 2, 3, 4, and then banish one from your opponent's hand, field and graveyard. Really depending on what you want to go to. You could go into a Shambara, and that gives you game already there. You could link up into a Deco Talker. You could link up into a Saruja, like I said. You've got game there. I think the most powerful way to go would be to go into do those two. Actually, let's go. So we'd go those three first. These two first. Go into your Deco Talker. Then do the other two. Go into your Shambara. Your Decode is now on 33. Your Shambara will go up to 22, 24. Your Conductors set everything face down. Your Overraptor's on 18. You would go attack, 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 burning your opponents for thousands, or you can just go Regeki, game. So there you go. It took a bit of thinking, but as you can see, it's still very, very powerful. And it left you with quite a few cards in hand. But at the end of the day, that doesn't really matter if you're going to OTK your opponent. So as you can see, Winder is both a blessing and a curse, but the deck itself is still very, very powerful and very, very useful. I hope this has given you a couple of ideas. I hope this has made you want to look into the deck, maybe build the deck yourself, or just giving you a better understanding of how the deck kind of operates. You can see my usage of Called by the Grave and how it can be very, very helpful in the deck. But yeah, I hope this gives you a couple of angles to look at. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope it's been very, very informative. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, guys, as always, happy dueling. Also, YouTube, thanks for watching that video. I hope you liked it. If you did, hit that like button. And of course, don't forget to hit that big red subscribe button in the bottom left-hand corner and the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. We've got more deck profiles, duels, pack openings, and many more Yu-Gi-Oh videos coming up for you all year round. So don't forget to stay tuned for all of that. Thanks, and as always, guys, happy dueling.